What's up, guys? Young Ace Habush here. Hold on, let me switch this real quick. All right, there we go. What's up, guys? Young Ace Habush here. Shout out to my ninjas and key noises. And today we are reacting to see if Hitbox is actually cheating, which I don't think it is, man. Because I converted, bro. I converted to Hitbox. I did. I converted to Hitbox. I have a mixed box back there as well, and kind of like a bootleg Hitbox. It was like $30 or so, or something like that. But I don't think it's cheating at all. Now, you are eradicating certain factors, back, forward, jumping. There are other, of course, shortcuts when it comes to different inputs. But I have one, two, three, four, five. I got like five regular fight sticks, right? And when you get the thing is when you convert from hitbox or a regular pad to a fight stick to a hitbox, it's completely different because it takes you a while. One, it took me a while just to get comfortable when it came to a fight stick, and then it took me a longer while to get comfortable when it comes to using a hitbox. It doesn't register 100% all the time. So, me personally, I don't think it's cheating at all whatsoever. But I know a lot of people that, of course, disagree. Even my brother disagrees. He said it's cheating. He was saying before you're able, like, if I play Guile, I'm able to hold back and then press forward to throw a sonic boom. Said no. I'm like, because if you press back and you press forward and it's both held down at the same time, that's neutral. Now you are able to hold down and then press up and do a flash kick while still holding down. There's stuff like that, but other than that, that's just my opinion. I don't think Hitbox is cheating at all. It's just a faster way of playing the game. It's like 3 seconds or something like that, and I believe Tokido did a synopsis on that. So let's just get right into the video, man.
When you think of fighting games, you probably think of the iconic arcade controller,
Right.
or fight stick. For years, the greatest fighting game masters cut their teeth in arcades and at home with joysticks and 6-button setups. But for more than a decade, a challenger has awaited in the shadows. It has widened its influence, drawn in new followers,
look at the beast,
and spread throughout the fighting game community. The Hitbox and a number of other leverless controllers are rapidly picking up steam, and some of the best players in the world are throwing away their sticks and picking one up.
Boy, Super Kuma.
Problem is that some people think that using one is, well, cheating.
Look,
Dude,
and I'm gonna say this: if you think it's cheating, right? I play Tekken. I can say that either Tekken or Melty Blood are one of my top games I'm really good at when it comes to fighting, right? If you think that Hitbox is cheating, I want you guys, if you guys don't already have a Hitbox, borrow it from a friend or anything like that, hit me up. We'll do a 1st to 10. And I don't have to play with my Hitbox. I'll play with a regular controller. Or I'll play with my fight stick instead. And I guarantee you, you won't be able to pick it up as fast as you think you are. I challenge anybody to this. Borrow a fight stick, hit me up, don't practice, because if Hitbox is so cheating and you're able to pick it up and just win automatically, I challenge anybody 1st to 10. For sure.
Signs. You can push both buttons at the same time. An arcade stick cannot push left and right at the same time.
Just looking at it, I'm like, I don't know how anyone can take a look at that and say that it is not cheating.
And the EVO 2022 Street Fighter champion...
Nah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Looking at this low-key does look like it's cheating, because you're able to move with the joystick, and then I think you're able to use, because I'm not sure how it really functions, but I know these are probably directional buttons as well. So I'm not sure. Anybody correct me on that, because I'm not sure how this one works. The cross up, I'm not sure how that works.
But it is not cheating.
And the EVO 2022 Street Fighter champion and many of his opponents used a hitbox. It's quickly become the hottest topic in the fighting game community. So today, we are going to take a look at the hitbox controversy. Strap yourselves in.
Yep.
This one's going to be a rough ride.
For real. Because everybody's talking about it, but everybody's getting it now.
Before we get into the video, I just want to let you all know that we have merch.
Okay, let's get
If you have your Play 1000 changed stepped forward to carry fighting games into another decade. While many of those players used what was at hand, a controller or pad in many cases, some emulated the pros and bought or built a fight stick. More than anything else, fight sticks aimed to reproduce the arcade experience. But while newcomers were buying,
and I'm not even gonna lie, like I came into the FGC scene when MVC2 was good, was popping. So literally at 2010, I really started going hardcore, and then that's when I was like, I seen like all the pros playing, and I didn't know there were like fighting game tournaments for games until I see my little brother looking at it, and I'm like, how is this dude getting so good at this fast? Because he was never like beat me like that. But then he started watching like these pros, and he started whooping me out. And then I started seeing people use like the fight stick, and I'm like, yo, I gotta get one. And then my brother got one. I'm like, oh, I definitely gotta get one. So my first fight stick was a Hayabusa. I think it was a Hiyori, Hayabusa Hiyori. I have it right over there.
Into levered joysticks, a new controversial challenger was waiting in the wing. In 2010, two brothers, Sean and Dustin Huffer, decided that a fight stick didn't have to have, well, a stick.
We don't know what to call them because they're not actually sticks, they're just kind of boxes. So these are our boxes. Like we made, we're making different kinds, kind of messing around.
That's
with
dope.
Schemes. This one's kind of the standard one for Street Fighter 4. It's basically the main difference is we got arrow keys. Like if you're playing on a keyboard for the directional inputs.
The idea was simple. What if you could use the buttons from arcade sticks to build a leverless controller?
Pretty much the only reason you'd want to do this is because the travel time on a joystick is a lot longer than the travel time on like these Sandwall buttons.
From what,
so basically you can do
said.
your Dragon Punch, your Hadouken at light speed.
But even in the comments of this video, with less than 30,000 views, you can see the debate start to bubble up. Will this thing even be legal long term? Should we be investing in something like this? But the orders started rolling in. So the brothers turned their garage into an ersatz assembly line and continued producing them. Now, some of you might be thinking, of course it's easier to press 4 buttons than move a lever around.
Think about a stick's travel time. You're charging back, it goes forward, has to go back. Being able to hit both buttons at the same time, you are charging your next Sonic Boom faster than the guy who's using a stick.
Correct. And I've seen his whole point too, as well. And he wasn't really disagreeing.
And it's math. It's not opinion. It's not, oh, this is harder to do on Hitbox. This is easier to do. This is not opinion. This is science.
Like, that's 100%. Been how FPS has worked on PC for a pretty long time. It's why we use WASD controls.
And that's another thing. If it's cheating so much, why are there people also using keyboards to play? Like, I went to EVO, and there's... If you ever go to EVO, you'll always see that one person have a keyboard, every time.
Your keyboard doesn't have a stick on it, probably. But even so, if those prototype Hitbox controllers appeared all the way back in 2010... why are we only hearing about them now? Well, you see, in 2010, there were tons of brand new fighting game players who probably had the cash to buy a tried and tested fight stick, but probably weren't in the know enough to shell out for a Hitbox.
Facts.
And while stick modding gained a lot of popularity during this time, it wasn't like people were itching to yank out their lever. The discussion simmered for a while, and some pros did switch. But none made more waves than the beast himself. Daigo Umehara.
使いたいっつうか、その勝てるコントローラーを使うね。
And I remember when he was doing tournaments, he was still playing with his fight stick, but he was also saying that he was practicing with his hitbox as well. So he made that change.
In 2019, Daigo, considered to be the greatest Street Fighter player of all time, decided to switch to a leverless controller, and the debate fully entered the mainstream FGC consciousness. It was another title shift for fighting games. So I guess it's time to move away from history and towards the exciting world of SOCD cleaning.
And now, the guy who actually knows what he's talking about.
Where there's a big fancy acronym, you can be sure that I'm not far behind. Now, one of the biggest differences between levered and leverless controllers is the ability to input left and right, or up and down, at the same time. This is called simultaneous opposing cardinal directions, or SOCD. And it's at the core of what has made the Hitbox and other leverless controllers so controversial. Before Hitbox...
So you see how fast he was doing that, bro? That's not easy. That just doesn't come natural, bro. You gotta practice to even do stuff like that. And the way your mind is wired, like, it took me a while to learn, especially in game. That's the only look. If you're ever gonna jump in a Hitbox, play in game, play player match. Don't go to ranked. If you want to go to ranked, sure, but just go to play match. This button right here, it took me a while to just learn. This is jump. Stop pressing it like it's down. This is jump. This is jump. This right here in the middle, this middle button is crouch. That's what took me so long to even pick, like, just to figure it out.
As went mainstream, games often wouldn't know what to do with SOCD inputs. In Marvel 3, for example, it actually just sends both inputs to the game. So you could essentially block in both directions at once, or just break the game. Games just weren't designed to deal with these conflicting inputs, so they had to be cleaned. Essentially, either the hardware, the controller, or the software, the game, would have to actually decide what to do with them. To break it down for you, these are the three most common ways to clean those inputs. There's neutral, which doesn't send either input until one of the buttons is released. Last input priority, which sends whatever the last input was. Or absolute priority, which forces a specific direction when SOCD is inputted. For example, up plus down always defaults to up.
And that was the guy who actually knows what he's talking about.
Can anybody tell me, because I don't know, I feel stupid, but I don't. Can anybody tell me what SOCD means?
Now, Daigo's controller was controversial partly because it used last input priority, or last win cleaning. The effects of this on Street Fighter V's Guile were immediately obvious in a game that literally counts every frame.
新しい発見というよりは、頭の中で可能だろうなと思っていたことが実際に、その理論通りにできて、そういう感動はありましたね。例えば、自分の使ってるガイルだと、分かりやすいんですけど、普通はしゃがんでいる状態からサマソルトキックを出すときっていうのは一瞬ニュートラルを経由するので、下から上っていうコマンドなんで、そのニュートラルの最中に相手の根気を食らっちゃうことっていうのがあったんです。ヒットボックスの場合はその下から上の間にニュートラル通らないんで、ガイルがしゃがんだ状態から無敵状態になってサマーソルトが打てるとか、そういうのは理論上可能だろうなと思ってたし、実際やってみたらできてすごく有効だったので、それは感動しましたね。
Capcom came out and said that the use of the controller gives the competition an advantage that does not follow the spirit of the Capcom Pro Tour before they banned it. Now, Daigo didn't get to use his leverless controller at Combo Breaker, but he committed to continue to practice both kinds of controllers, since it was allowed at subsequent tournaments. The debate never really died, but this event sparked a whole new round of awareness and arguments. Slowly but surely, all kinds of leverless controllers were explicitly made legal at major tournaments. Then, in August 2022, Daigo became an official brand ambassador for Hitbox.
どれぐらいっていうのはすごい難しいですけど、やっぱりそのレバーだとどうしても生じる左から左っていうか後ろから前とか下から上とかっていうそういう単純な操作にどうしてもレバーだったり パッドコントローラーだったりするとタイムラグが出るんですけど、ヒットボックスの場合はそのタイムラグがない。それは、まあ、長い目で見れば必ず、有利に働くだろうなと思ってましたし、事実今日本ではトッププレイヤーの多くの人がレバーレスコントローラーに移行してます。
Now, there will be people in the audience who rightly reply that controllers can also do this. And yeah, it's true. If you have a controller with both a D-pad and a thumbstick, you can actually send both inputs at once. But let's be real. It's not as if banning pads is a realistic solution.
The fighting game community is so niche and so small that alienating a group of it is a really bad idea.
Yeah.
That shit is already on life control. So
life support.
You are going to then take this small community and remove a big part of it.
One more thing. The claims about reaction times are actually pretty convincing. Tokido, one of the great legendary Japanese pros, actually did a comparison of both inputs.
5から6だな。安定してるわ。
Okay, so the lever controller dashes takes 5 or 6. What is it, 6 seconds? We proved that the numbers that we're using in leverless controllers.
数字で厳密にガッチガチで分かってしまったわけです。
So, okay, so with a lever, it takes you 5 seconds, and then with a hitbox, it takes you 3 seconds for most of them.
A 3 to 4 frame difference to an elite fighting game player is an eternity. The hitbox represents an advance in efficiency.
Sure, and it helps with just frames,
but
bro.
Sometimes that efficiency can enable strategies that weren't considered effective before. That doesn't mean that a hitbox is better at everything. There are some inputs, like 720s and half circles, that might actually be easier on stick. And that might actually be a bigger factor when determining whether Hitbox will remain competitive in the future. If you've ever played Street Fighter 2, you probably realized that older games do very little to help you input a special move.
Yeah, FACV
but
is hard.
Modern fighting games are designed to give the player a bit of leeway in terms of input, and a hitbox is sometimes able to turn that leniency into input shortcuts. Now, if that leniency were to change, things might be different.
Because the input leniency in this game is super free. All you need is a down, a forward input, a down, and a forward input.
昔初めてそのストリートファイターが出てきた時に残月のコマンドっていうのは1回転っていうコマンド表記だったんですよ。本当に1回転だったかどうかわかんないんですけど、1回転っていう表記で、それが今は少なくともストリートファイター5に関しては4方向だけで出る。
Bro, I tried to do it on what was that game? Virtual Fighter? Bro, it is so hard. It is so hard for me.
ぐるって回せば出るんですけど、でもこれがメーカーが本当に1回転分のコマンド入力をしないと技が出ませんっていう仕様にしてきたら、少し、今のなんていうか、まあ、自分の使うキャラクターによってはレバーを使った方がいいとか、パッドを使った方がいいとか、そういうことは、あると思います。
Still, if this leniency does change, it will be a reversal of most recent trends in fighting games.
Yeah.
So, from the standpoint of pure effectiveness, it does seem as if the hitbox is here to stay. So, where are we now? And what does the future hold for the hitbox? Right now, in 2022, Capcom forces SOCD cleaning on conflicting left-right inputs and forces up or neutral on conflicting up-down inputs. And if we had to guess, the former will probably become the standard, while the latter will probably change. Everyone is living in a post-hitbox world right now, and top players are switching over en masse. Of the top 8 players for Street Fighter V at EVO 2022, 5 of them were using leverless controllers, including Daigo Umehara, third place finisher Gachikun, and the champion Kawano. And even if sticks don't disappear completely, this could be the first time in fighting game history that joysticks take a back seat.
そっちだと思う。その新しいものをどんどんしてった方がいいなって思ってる。ただやっぱりアーケードスティックの文化だ。
Alright, guys, this is where I'm gonna stop. But I look at it like this. It's like music, right? Or trends or fashion. if you look at the fashions from the 70s and you look at how our parents dress or whatever, right? And then you come to this age and you see how it looks like what people look like in the 90s, how they dress, in the early 2000s, how they dress, 2010, and now you got 2020, to where everything has changed over a decade, right? If not a few decades, to where now when you see different technology has also impacted this world within the decade as well, but there is always a backlash all the time, and the fact that it's hitting the FGC even harder, because when it comes to the fight stick, right? The fight stick is a lot more nostalgic for people. You know what I mean? Like, this stick means so much to me. I would never let go of this Kwamba. This Kwamba stick means so much to me. And then I have my Mad Catz Street Fighter Shadowloo one in the back. And it's like, this feels so natural and it feels so good, to where when you seen the mix box, when you seen the hitbox, it's like, man, I don't want to let go of the nostalgia. You know, that's basically what it is. You don't want to let go of something that you've had your whole life, to where it had a big impact in you, and you seen and you felt the excitement, just everything that came with it. So now that we're in this new age of transition, to now we have the hitbox. It's like, it's dope, because I love playing with this. Like, I'm not even gonna front with you. I love playing with this. This is dope. Like, I enjoy playing with this. Like, even when it came to Tekken, it took me a while to learn my electrics again, because I was more fluent in my electrics when it came to pad, and then I was trying to learn the fight stick when I really didn't have to. But playing with this is a lot of fun. But it's just a transition to one. It's going to be a little bit harder to transition. It's a nostalgia factor, and a lot of people don't want to let go of something that's been there for years, that has formed the FGC. Like, go all the way back to when you seen Yipes, PR Rog, Sanford, freaking even Daigo, Justin Wong, I can go on and on, but these type of people play like that, and hop on a stick, and you've seen how cool it was, because they grew up in that arcade era, to where I grew up in that era, kind of, to where when we didn't have, like, when our washer and dryer broke, but it's back when I was living in California, we would always go to the laundromat, and the laundromat always had Mortal Kombat in the cabinets, and I loved playing it. And I remember me being so dope and so raw and not losing to anybody in Tekken 5, to where when I went to an arcade and I was like, you know what? I'm like, yeah, I'm raw. I'm like, I'm dope. Everyone's like hyping me up. And then there was this guy that nobody was able to beat. And they were like, oh, man, be careful, because he's raw. He's dope. I'm like, man. So I hopped on. And I'm like, okay, I'm trying to remember the buttons. I got to move this way. I was out of my element. And I I got some hits on him, but I got thrashed, bro. I think I got one win on him, and then he took the other two. And I'm like, man, it hurts, bro. So the fact that, you know, it has that type of effect to where if you're losing your quarter, you got that one quarter there, you hop on, you instantly lose. Like, it's a whole thing that goes into it. But if you guys think, I want to know what y'all think, man. If you guys think the Hitbox is cheating, if you think it's, you know, it's something that you love and you're accustomed to, and they just need to make room, which is gonna make room regardless. You know what I mean? I want to hear you guys' thoughts. But I love you guys, man. Peace, love, positivity. God bless y'all. I'm out.
Let me spit up on the track so the money blind can see. You can run into your brother and say that you finally free. With the snakes up in the grass, spitting venom, lyrical writtens with apple albums and robbing the fruit and cutting the tree. Let me bleed. Pick up my cross and continually falling. Angels and ballers, demons and ballers, I got the proof. Reading my scriptures, telling the people of Jesus' truth. I got my roots in the water, my fruit you can also eat. Got the feet up in